Hello there, got a corker for you today at Uber Pro level 4v4. It's game number 3, week number 3, 2023. I'm not here, I recorded this ahead of time, but what a fantastic game it is. And last stream I did, I had a couple of people drop by in live chat. It was nice to see. Unfortunately, I do not got the APM spare to deal with, but I don't just want to turn chat off. And MC... I think mocking my commander of the language, he puts in quotes, he does got flack, unquote, and he says, oh, come on, with a smiley face. Yeah, I'm from the northeast of the UK, northeast England, and for those unfamiliar with that, that means our area is famous for farming fields, previously to that, the fishing industry, not producing Shakespeare's. We're not famous for our command of the English. You know, it's those that are further living in southern UK that have the posher accent and, you know, the Queen's English and so on and so forth. Put it this way, you know, and that isn't to say that we're necessarily thick as pig shit, but, you know, we're not. And I certainly don't pretend, and I'm not going to try to get all posh with my speaking. I'm going to talk the way that I naturally talk. But that being said, sometimes I watch this thing back and it was like, I said that wrong, I got that wrong. And it's weird. It's like when you watch somebody else do it, you think, oh, they got this wrong, they're missing this. I can't believe that they said that. And then it seems so obvious, right? Because, of course, when you're watching something back, you ain't got any mistakes to make. The only thing that you're doing is watching what somebody else has produced, and it's really easy to see through all the mistakes. Now, I make clearly way more than my fair share of mistakes, but I do hope I make up for that in passion and then some. That being said, enough of that, and, you know, I do like to pad out my excuses to sort of try and cover all of my bases, but, you know, I'm sure someone somewhere will still find something, and I don't blame them because it's not difficult to do. You know, I'm low-hanging fruit, what can I say? All right, coming over to the game then. It's a really high-rated game, and if the thumbnail didn't sell the game for you, then I don't think nothing much else will. Let's go ahead and hit the play button, bring the sounds in, ease off a little bit on the music, and we can tell it's the AI generated style game because we get all the fiery colors on one side and the cooler colors on the other. Massive fan of that, as I've said before. This game going down on Funeral Plains. It's a 10 by 10, so a relatively small map for a 4v4. And of course, being Uber Pro rated, we're going to come over here. It's Blodir going Cybram, 2349 rated. This has got to be one of the highest, if not the highest, in Forge Lines Forever right now. I think I have seen players rated higher, but generally they don't last long either, because if you don't continue to play, you get derated, and of course if you do play and you lose, well, you get derated, and so there is that. Of course, you know, the highest levels, like with anything, is, well, it's tough at the top, right? To his west hand side, it's Yu Yong. Apologies for the pronunciation there. He is Aeon, he is dark red. He's 1891. Over to his left side, slightly up to the north, it's another Cybran. It's Retardon, he's 1644. And over the last play here for Team 1, it's Azuros, he's 1804, he's UEF. And that completes Team number 1. Retardon, by the way, is the lowest rated player in the game at 1644. So that gives you some kind of idea as to what insane level of game it is when the lowest rated is 1644. Coming then over to the south side, starting down here on the eastern lower edge of the Team 2, is Gingerbread Man. He's UEF. He's 1761 rated. He was around when I used to play Gingerbread Man. Feels like one of the OGs. To his north, it's Velon. Is it? Yeah, Velon. And also UEF, which is nice to see. I can barely see it there due to the color and the resolution. 1651 rating there. So a couple of UEF guys at a 2 for the first couple. Then we've got Mimkits here, 2061 rated, going Seraphim. Really, really strong. And look how quick he's getting the upgrade there. Not even 2 minutes, 30 seconds, and he's already halfway through upgrading one of his Tech 1 mass extractors. He must have had a bunch of energy or something. There is mass laying around, but, and alas, now he is stalling a little bit. Does now finish the hydro, but it looks like the mass is going to be complete very shortly after, at 80% there. Not seen anybody upgrade that quick before. Now I have. And then last but not least, it's WaffelzNoob, 2293 rated, also in Seraphim, going here in oh, what's the colour? It escapes me. I should know. I have a little cover that I like to put on the bed that's exactly the same colour as that, and I'm thinking teal, but stop digging, stop digging. All right, first action going down, the ACU versus Scout. That's only going to go one way. We've got a little raid over here. 2 versus 1, and the Solitary Lab gets the first kill. His pal comes in the rear. I thought he was going to finish him off, but alas, no. Lab pulling off there with 6 hit points to spare, as well as a Scout. Yeah, but certainly the 2v1 there went very well for you. I'm going to dig a hole with this name, aren't I? Yu Yong. That's it, Yu Yong. And Yu Yong, if it ain't Yu Yong, 1,000 apologies here. I care more about the game than I do about individual names of units and players, as some can tell. I found it always amazing how Gal could remember all of the units, and I guess granted he's been doing it for about 10 years, but I used to play like, I must have, I don't know exactly, but it was in the thousands of games, and I couldn't remember. I couldn't even remember all the names of my own UEF faction. And again, I've always been more for principles and theories and that kind of thing, mechanics, than I have names, dates, you know, birthdays. I'm the one that forgets everybody's birthday. I leave that to my girlfriend, and it's incredible. She remembers all of that, but when it comes to, like, you know, basic theories and so on, it's completely the other way. They've got 4 ACUs. Meanwhile, in the mid there is 2 versus 2, and you see they're busy on manual reclaim now. There's about 1,000 or so mass left, so it's certainly not worth neglecting. But I'm kind of surprised to see the ACUs rushing for it in the way that they did. Perhaps they feel it's more a case of, well, if I don't, the other guy's going to be outnumbered and then we'll be down a player. I couldn't tell you for sure. Very aggressive from WaffelzNoob here up the west side. He's well over halfway up the map. He's got a couple of units that run by him and more engineers than reinforcements. Now, he's just got a FAM, a single tank. We'll have to see. Perhaps he's electing to wait there while the reinforcements come through. He's got a couple of tanks actually. Oh, and he gets one. It's still a 2-on-2. Kind of crucial. Now it's 2-on-1. So does go Waffel's way. I felt that was very crucial just due to the number of engineers that were behind. Now it's a 1-on-1. It felt that if that had gone Azuros' way, and it has. Oh my goodness, Azuros manages to get 2 kills on a 2v1 when it comes to a solitary tank. And yeah, all right, Waffels now is getting reinforcements in place. If that had taken place just a little earlier, there was at least 3, if not 4 engineers from Waffels that would have been completely exposed, and alas, there it does. So much stuff going down on so many quarters, but Waffel's incredibly strong, as you'd expect from a 2293. Blodir not quite as advanced over on the east side. Again, Blodir, you know, he's Waffels and then some when it comes to skill. He's about 60 or so points ahead. And we got Gingerbread Man down here, which, you know, 1761, that's a really, really good player, but he's like 600 points below Blodir, which is just madness. When you're that sort of skill level, to have somebody 600 points above you, that really is insane. Of course, that doesn't change the fact that if the high-rated player sends inferior number of units down into your area, you're gonna win. What we got down here, a single unit from... I see, okay. The unit's been moved in there. I assume to try and prevent a distance build. Problem is, Gingerbread Man's got a drop in the rear there. And he does got access down. They got a bunch of civ structures there. We'll have to see how that goes down. Meanwhile, lots of little isolated engagements. Nothing anywhere, at least on the face of it, that looks like it's going to be game-changing. We've got Team 1 over here looking like they're making a move. And unless something rapidly changes, I feel that they're going to get that. Let's have a look. How much mass do they actually get once they take out these units? Obviously, we got 300 and some for that one. What are they going to get for this? It's a Tech 1, AAA. Well, it would have been 100, but then the RE just successively rained down and destroyed it into nothingness. That is the very definition of overkill. I can hear some laser somewhere wailing away. Yu Young moving in. Valorn over here with his ACU feels like he's a little bit, well, yeah, out of position. I mean, his units are further back, but you don't want to get caught out front with your pants down like this. Looks like he is recognizing the threat. He's trying to get out of there as quick as he can. The problem is he's got 2 ACUs bearing down on him together with units, and he feels a little light. He's got to time this right. Otherwise, this could be our first ejection here. We can see Blodir moving in with his ACU to pincer. Could this be it for Valorn? I'm not even sure that he is aware that Blodir is bearing down. And he hasn't got a clue.
Under attack.
He hasn't a clue. Gingerbread is telling him to walk south, and he should have listened to him. Now he realizes it's 2v1, and looks like Blodir's already got the gun. Ouch. Uh-oh. Yeah, there's our first guy going out. Valorn. 16, 8, 5. Boom. 9 minutes and change. Gingerbread Man with a fantastic piece of advice. Walk south and not, not southeast, south. Granted, Valorn, give it 2 or 3 seconds for a reaction time. He was maybe doing something else. Perhaps he didn't have a clue that Blodir was there and he thought, no, this is the best way. But alas, he didn't listen and he paid the price. See here, Gingerbread Man up on the south side, taking out, that was like, a very long way to move an ACU to take out a solitary tank. I'm not sure why he would have elected to do that. Usually putting an ACU on the edge of the map is not the best place to put them. Again, those, who are good at chess, a night on the rim is dim. You limit your options. And of course, the ACU, certainly for the first 10, if not 20 minutes of the game, is by far the most powerful unit. Raiding parties moving by down here from Blodir. Again, just the right amount of units to cause damage. Not enough units that if you lose them, it's any sort of a problem. And Yu Young moving down here centrally with his ACU and looking like he is up against superior forces. Could Yu Young be next? Well, I hope so. I'm not going to mess up his name anymore for years. And looks like their Mimkits thinks twice about it. Separating off his forces. Pulling back. Zurov's meanwhile up on the north side. I guess he's been super cautious. Of course, he is about 500 or so points behind Waffles. Certainly, yeah, massive discrepancy. And I guess he would rather be safe than sorry and just try and maintain it. You see, starting to wall off as well. It's always the sign of somebody that is not necessarily thinking about pushing through. Of course, you could build a wall deceptively and have and fully intend on pushing through, but alas, not just yet. 1-on-1 now. UAF ACU versus Serra ACU. Waffles here taking on our friend there. We'll have to see. Yeah, and look at this play here. The ACU going after the T1 when it can. Waffles now pushing on through with his units. ACU a little bit, you know, under full health. Elex, that's the time to do it. And get some nice trades. You see, Azuros' units are too far back. They're not at all able to assist in this engage. ACU, mind you, fantastic ACU trades there. Despite that, of course, Waffles having his units a little bit nearer. Occasionally, there would have been the odd shot from the unit getting through to the ACU. That could not be the case from Azuros because, of course, they were out of range. So, again, it just shows the difference there between someone who's really, really good and a pro player. And perhaps a little bit of a mistake here from Waffles. Although he does got... no, I take that back. These are Ilshivas down here. No mistake whatsoever. Waffles completely in control of the situation. Look at this. The ACU gets a little low on health. He throws his units forward. His ACUs come back. And those Tech 2 units are enough to make Azuros think twice about it. He is getting reinforcements through from retardation, however, for Azuros. And I'm not sure if that caused Waffles to think twice. I think based on the lack of overcharges that were coming there from Azuros, that Waffles could have indeed won that engagement had he have pursued it, were it not for Retardon's reinforcements coming through here. So very well played there from Retardon. Whether you knew it or not, I believe he kept Azuros in the game at that point. Meanwhile, we'll take a look down on the southeast side. It's 2-on-2. Has everybody got the gun? Well, certainly here from Mimkits is Seraphim gun. Less obvious, of course, with the UEF because it's range and damage versus rate of fire, but end of the day, they still put out the same damage per second. Only difference being UEF, it's one shot. The other races, it's 2 shots per second, but of course the UEF gives out twice as much per shot. Overall, if you think about it though, when a unit takes 3 shots to kill, if you double the amount of strength, you're still going to take 2 shots to kill the unit. You can't one-shot them. And so you could argue there's a slight advantage if you can get 3 shots out per second instead of 2. But again, that only applies at the Tech 1 unit stage. And having the range is probably more important than rate of fire in many circumstances. Waffles continuing to press. And I think with his Tech 2 now, Azuros desperately needs overcharge, and looks like he was able to get an overcharge in there on one of these Ilshis. There's an overcharge again, gets another Ilshi. Very nice. Is he able to continue? And he is able to continue funding these overcharges. They're going to get him large amounts of vet very quickly. So very nice overcharge once again. You see, with 23 kills, he's already a 2-star vet. ACU, and providing he can keep overcharging the Ilshis, those vets are going to come thick and fast, and it could leave Waffles potentially, I don't know, he's still got numbers. Azuros needs energy to keep these overcharges going. And that overcharge, despite connecting with the Ilshi, didn't seem to hit. Very nice overcharge there. That gets him a 3rd rank vet, despite still just having 29 kills. Retardon recognizes the threat. He sends units in, but things here not looking good for Azuros at 1804 against Waffles. Again, 2293, 500 above. Continues to put overcharges in. Have we got any more? And there's the next overcharge, perfectly placed. This actually going really well for Azuros, despite the fact that he's completely surrounded. Those overcharges, if he can get another rank of vet, he's really, really close to it. There he is. He gets his 4-star. And he's now got a Tech 3 unit in play. We'll have to see if he's able to get away. He's got to keep on overcharging these Ilchis, no doubt about it. He's getting primaried here from Waffels. Waffels, his ACU's got now else to shoot at. Fire at the units, fire at the units. You need the vet if you can get it. Unfortunately, it's only about 25% of there, and looks like Azura's finally bounced out. Minute 17. Very well played considering who you were up against, and it was really nice to see the ACU there getting all the way up to 4-star vet despite having very limited numbers of kills. Of course, the higher the value unit that you kill, the quicker and easier it is to get vet. No doubt about it. Fantastic play, Azuros there. You know, when you're 1v1 against someone who's 500 rating points against you, you know, there's 9 days out of 10, it's only ever going to go one way, and even on that 10th day, it's going to be dicey. Front somewhat stabilized, and that's now 3v3. And let's take a look. Overall teams, 33,000 on for team 2, 32,000 for team 1. So a hair's advantage economic wise for the the blue teams, the cool side. Already got some ASF out here from Blodir before minute 18. And electing now to go after Waffels. Now Waffels, after that win, looking a little isolated. And he's got whalers on him. He's got 2 whalers. Could this be it for Waffels? He's got retard on bearing in. He's also got tech 3 bots. Could this be it for Waffels? Biting off more than he can chew. And unless rabbits and hats get drawn out instantly, I think that's going to be it. Waffels, heroic play there. Gets one more OC in, but it's too little too late. Waffels going down around a minute or so after his opponent. Looking incredibly healthy there, but he just didn't have the support to contend with. I think any one of those issues by themselves he would have dealt with, but ACU plus 2 whalers plus the tech 3 bots there from retarding, you know, that was it. I like what Waffels did though. He realized he was going to lose that engage, and he pulled his units away from the ACU so they weren't caught up in the blast, and that enabled those units to cause a little bit of damage after he went out from the control of one of his teammates. Unfortunately, you know, those have since gone down, but again, that is the sign of a really, really good player. It's like, I'm going to lose anyway, I'm going to die, and I can die and take out these 3 units that are mine, or I can move the 3 units away, I can die, and then someone on my team has 3 units that they wouldn't otherwise have to just try and do something. And you know, again, really, really nice play. Sounds obvious when you explain it like that, but in the heat of a moment, it's not always obvious. Isolated units here, and of course these whalers. Now that tech 3 Sam there, the lightning tank, I just go walking SAM site. To me, it's a SAM site, although the lightning graphic, again, they didn't used to exist in my day, but it's really nice to see. It was the one thing really that was lacking, and I think there was a lot of people I remember in chat or forums just generally back then saying, you know, everything in this game has a counter, but what you don't got a counter for is tech 3 air versus land. And alas, it seems that at some point somebody listened and resolved that situation. I mean, of course, you could build a shit ton of Tech 1 and Tech 2, and at some point it would counter, but it's even then just a case of whittling down. It's still probably not going to be one shot, one kill. Unless, like, if you line up a row of flak north to south, and then the enemy aircraft, Air Force happens to fly in a perfect line north to south over that line of flak, that will shoot down a huge amount of ASF that were previously full health. And I saw it happen once, and it was like 200 ASF just dropped out the sky, and I never saw it again. But it was and that was back when I was playing. So Blodir continuously to be dangerous here, dealing out the damage with his whalers down here, going after isolated targets. And what's he picking off? He's picking off individual tech 3 walking SAM sites. Now, if you're not able to combine these, and Blodir is going to bully up and get his numbers together to go after these walking SAM sites, he will lose. That said, has he met his match? Really like what I'm seeing here, trying to get the shield. No, you need to get them under the shields. Well, too little too. Oh, come on, get the shield over top. He's trying. Nah. Ginger, oh, he does finally do it. He just finally gets his shield with the Sam there. And it looks like that got him a whaler. Does he get the second one? Well, Blodir thinks so. He pulls out. Nice work there from Gingerbread Man. Meanwhile, on the west side, Retardon pushing in with his Tech 3 bots and a couple of bricks. Right up against Blodir, who's also got a shit ton of bots here on the west side. Blodir, again, spreading like a cancer over the map, as you'd expect from the highest rated player in the game. Pushing in on Mimkits' position. Mimkits with inferior forces does have quite a few sniper bots though, so if Blodir doesn't continue to press, Mimkits potentially could whittle down this army and counter-attack at some point. We'll have to see if that is the case. Mimkits also getting into position with his ACU. And yeah, there we go. Team 1 recognizing that we can't just hang around while we've got sniper bots firing at our army. If we can't attack them, we've got to pull away. And that's exactly what they do. That does, however, leave a few wrecks here. There's at least, what's that, about 5, 6, even 7,000 mass there on the doorstep for Team 2. No doubt at this caliber, they've already got engineers moving in to reclaim. We've got this guy here. What's he doing? Radar and SAMs. Over on the east side, players continuing to jostle for position. Just a quick look at the map overall. While at a glance it may feel 50-50, it does feel like that Team 1 are encroaching ever so slightly into the 50. More like 55-45 for Team 1. Certainly, like, you know, we've got one mass here for Team 1, and this one here is unclaimed. Certainly, military-wise, Team 1 are very dominant across the map at first glance. Got some nice intel here from Team 2, having a good gander at what's going on there into Team 1's base. It's the same to be said for the other side. Well, what is to be said is we've got whalers moving in from Blodir now. Question is, oh, he finds the perfect group of targets to go through. Not very well defended. A single flak unit. That will have hurt, no doubt, those units going after the sniper bots. Very weak defense, despite their ability to attack. Now, sniper units here, these could help a lot. He's got to keep Mimkits, you know, he's got to keep these sniper bots back. Let the bigger, bulkier, you know, your bricks and so forth forward, or the equivalent of your purses. Looks like no counterattack taking place, though. Team 2 very strong over here, but I'm just thinking it's your bases that are getting surrounded. If Team 2's not careful, they're going to get this cut off. And of course, we've got Gingerbread Man, ACU over here. We've got a very strong group of whalers here from Blodir. I'm starting to get a little concerned. Those whalers can tear apart an ACU very quickly. Granted, there is some AAA and SAM sites over here. We'll have to see if that's enough. Retardant putting some units through Team 2's base, but they're not going to get very much done. They do take out a couple of mass extractors, but I don't think much else. It's more of a nuisance than anything, a raiding party. Of course, the damaged mass extractors and the mass that's left on the field to reclaim. That said, if you do let one brick through and don't deal with, and brick does finally go down. Whalers now moving in from Blodir. That ball significantly smaller than it was before, and I see what I hear from Gingerbread Man, just littering his area with SAM sites, realizing, yeah, air is the problem. And yeah, there we go. The whalers down there for Blodir. It does got 2 or 3 more newer ones in the back, but alas, it would seem, unless he gets more and more concentrated numbers, the SAM sites are always going to pick apart isolated whalers or any air unit. Of course, a concentrated group of air units are always going to punch through isolated, or even if you pack SAMs together. I mean, you can't pack the entire map with SAMs at some point. You're going to have to get ASF to pursue, but certainly while your team's down on numbers, SAM sites, you know, I used to like building them, especially again. I rarely was an air player. I did like it time to time. But again, once you got the technicalities of, you know, how to build a base and getting your eco and whatnot, once you get past that and, you know, pumping out the ASF, it's pretty much down to, you know, the first 2 or 3 air engagements, you know, how that goes. And then after that, generally speaking, the air game is won or lost. Chicken out here from Team 2. Mimkit's moving up, and Team 1, we see there the red colours scarpering. And Mimkit's over here as well. We're quite a sizable. Again, I really like this. There are so many sniper bots in this group that they're just able to pick at superior armored units from range, and the sheer number of rounds coming in, it's winning. The problem again is if Mimkits takes his eye off the ball with these bricks, manage to get in range, it will just chew through those sniper bots. Again, one of the units that I as UEF would love to have had, a sniper style unit. Alas, it's a Seraphim and an Aeon special. The chicken bot here starting to get its kills. 10 kills so far. Looks like perfect health. We've got shielding moving in. Sniper bots. We know that Team 2 is lacking on air, so I hope that they've got the air sorted out. Nice little push here as well from Gingerbread Man. Just a few units, but when he's mostly dealing with engineers, that's going to work. And even though Team 2 pushing up the west side and arguably probing on the east, it would appear that Yu Yong has broken through the central side of Team 2. And once again, Team 2 at risk of being divided in half. And that would put Gingerbread Man on the wrong side of his base and his reinforcements. Yeah, Yu Yong here moving in with just 3 or 4 bricks. Retardant up top with a Monkey Lord and about 1 million Percivals from Blodir. Now this army of Percivals and Titans is greater than I would pretty much, yeah, that can defeat any experimental air, aside from air units obviously, but yeah, I wouldn't like to have that bearing down on me with or without the Monkey Lord. I mean, the Monkey Lord is just going to add insult to injury. A couple of units there from Yu Yong running rings around Team 2. You can see they've got you know, it's about 5-to-1 units pursuing, but because they're running rings, Percy gonna get a kill. It does get a kill, and so does the pal. Very nice. Finally shut that down, but of course another counter attack here from Yu Yong, this one with a GC in tow. And if you were feeling slightly worried for Ginger Man, you're gonna be now. Blodir with the Monkey Lord and a load of bots there on the east side. Picks off Ginger Man. Mimkits goes pop. And yeah, unfortunately there, it looks like Mimkits thrown in the towel at minute 30 on this pro level game. Well, you've lost your only ally over there. That made it a 3v1. You've got, what's that, about 25% of the map left. You've got numerous enemy. Perhaps I do need to go back to school. You've got numerous enemy units there coming in. Whether he had a chicken bot or not under his control at this point was almost immaterial. We realised he'd lost air. And yeah, when you're a single guy there, about 20,000 up against 2,300 rated, and there's 3 of them and 1 of you, you've got 25% of the map, and you've lost air, you've lost land, you've lost the experimental game. Clearly, you've lost economically. It was only ever going to go one way. All right, I hope you enjoyed that. And from me, well, I don't know. Maybe I'll watch. So hello to me too, from the past to the future. Have a good evening, everybody. By the time you see this, it'll either be Tuesday or beyond. You know, it's the first time I've done this, so a little bit excited about that. All right, take care. And until next time, bye-bye.